So Kelsey Mitchell is the latest person to come out and talk about how excited she is for the Fever's season to begin. She discussed the culture that they built in 2024 and then adding the vets that they did, obviously the personnel that they did. I've talked about that quite a bit, but she was on a podcast and had this to say in regards to the additions, specifically citing DeWanna Bonner.
Like, it's just like she's won so much with DT. She's one of the ones that not a lot of people I think talk about as far as winning is concerned, as far as like seeing it all and doing it with some of the best. And so she played with BG and she watched DT, break records and be the best guard I've ever seen. So I get to learn and soak up a lot of knowledge. And then I get to pass it to Caitlin. So it's good. It's good.
I love that.
And then I get to pass it to Caitlin. That's a nice little bit to end it with. That was on the Just Women's Sports Are Fun podcast. And obviously, Bonner brings a lot of veteran leadership, as was mentioned. I've talked about Howard. We've talked about all the excitement. But I took a stab at, in the spirit of said excitement, ranking the 5 Fever games that stand out the most to me on the schedule, or what I would call as the most anticipated Fever games of the season. You can catch that on Indiana Fever on SI in the description, but I'll share it with you right now. I want your feedback, whether I'm right or wrong. The one problem I ran into is a lot of the anticipation is going to come later in the season, right? Once the Fever get into playoff position and that sort of thing, where the games matter. And then obviously the playoffs are going to be the most anticipated thing, whether they can actually contend for that championship or not. And then there's the part of it that comes along with the All-Star game, because the All-Star game is going to be one of the most anticipated events of the season. That's in Indianapolis. But as far as the regular season goes, it's going to be a little front-loaded, because what you're most excited about is for it to start and then for those first matchups against specific teams. But here's what I had. Number 5, June 7th at the Chicago Sky. Why that game? Well, it's going to be in the United Center. It's the first game in Chicago. It will actually be the first game ever broadcast from the WNBA, first regular season game on primetime network television. So that's a big deal. Number 4, the New York Liberty, the first meeting between the Fever and the Liberty on the season. You get to see how the Fever stack up with the defending champs. Obviously, a lot of stars on the floor. Then I had the Dallas Wings on June 27th, the first meeting between the Wings and the Fever. A lot about that game, because you have Paige Beckers. That would be her first, if she is indeed drafted by the Wings, her first game against Caitlin Clark. You also have the fact that Clark set the assist record against the Wings last year. She had, there was a lot of offense in those games. Melissa Smith is on the Wings. Dejanay Carrington is on the Wings. Natasha Howard was just on the Wings. Then it's June 22nd at the Las Vegas Aces, the first meeting against the Aces. That because the Aces beat the Fever every time last season. Need a little revenge. Plus, you get an A'ja Wilson, Caitlin Clark showdown in what could be a potential MVP debate preview. And then finally, number 1, the season opener against the Sky. Obviously, the Reese and Clark matchups always have a little bit of extra sauce and juice to them. The ratings numbers show that. But this is more so because then the season will finally begin. So let me know what you think. Like and subscribe to the channel. All those good things. Check out Indiana Fever on SI. Those are my top 5 most anticipated games for the 2025 WNBA season.